Oh my gosh. Well, you know what? You were starring in the Broadway play, The Cripple of Inishmaan. Now, you play a disabled man who discovers a Hollywood age of movie is being made on a neighboring island over in Ireland, and you set out to get a part in this movie. Now, you did this play in London, and now you say that American audiences react very differently from the audiences over in London. How so?
And I don't mean to, disparage any of my, West End audiences, which obviously I love and have grown up in, but New York audiences are so vocally engaged, and you Brits are very reserved, and we laugh and stuff, but we don't really clap and like join in. And where there's stuff like you get American audiences all the time, you hear gasps and oohs and ahs, and like it's just when you're getting that sort of vocal feedback from the audience, it's really exciting as an actor on stage. It's lovely.
Also feeds you even more.
Absolutely. And you go even further with it, and it just gives you permission to, like, I don't know, push the play even further.
So to portray Billy, you constrict one side of your body into like a paralysis, and your leg. I mean, what kind of toll does that take on your body?
I mean, I'm holding up fine, to be honest. I based I mean, it's a little more extreme than that. That photo was taken very early on in London, and I sort of worked on it since.
Do you find yourself going home and doing it?
No, I don't. I don't like to complain about the physical toll, because I'm playing somebody who has a disability, and I based it on a real disability, type of cerebral palsy called hemiplegia, and I don't want to sit here and be like, oh, it's really hard to do that for like 2.5 hours a night, because people actually live with it, and so it's but it's one of the challenges of playing the part. And to be honest, the dance show I did, the How to Succeed the musical, which we did on this show, that was so much more physically draining and like exhausting on my body for sure.
What made you decide to get on the stage, man? I love it, but it's a wonderful thing to see a young actor go from a film and say, you know what, I want to try the live and get that smell of people and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. It is the smell of people was the main thing that made me want to do it.
Because you can't smell anybody, you can't smell it.
You guys smell fantastic. No, I think I just grew up going to theatre. My mum and dad took me to theatre all the time. They had both been actors when they were younger, and they focused more on stage, and so I just viewed it always as just a part of being an actor, was doing theatre, and I didn't get to do it when I was younger, obviously, but then, although I did, like I got to do it when I was 17, which is young for most people, but I'd also just done other stuff beforehand.
Dan, you talked about the physical toll of the musical, so this is I think your third time on Broadway, right? So you were in a very serious play, Equus, and then you were in a very happy one you just mentioned, How to Succeed in Business, but I've read you said playing happy, or in a happy play, is more difficult than being in a serious or sad role.
Yeah, it is. Well, I mean, for me at least, I find that it's always if you've had a really great day, it's kind of always easy enough to depress yourself and listen to a lot of really sad, depressing music and get yourself into the right headspace for a dark show. But if you're having like a really crappy day and your job that night is to go out and be bright and smiley and entertain, and like that's for some reason much more difficult, I think, to sort of get into.
We get that some mornings here.
Yeah, I get it. You guys can't be this perky all the time.
True.
No, outrage is easy, anger is easy, and maybe sad is not unlike those emotions.
So. Last time you were here, you briefly mentioned that you were starring in a mini-series called A Young Doctor's Notebook, and it's based on the memoirs of a doctor's life in a remote village in Russia, and you play a younger version of John Hamm. How is that going?
It's great. I mean, we finished the first and second series now. They're both 4-episode mini-series, so they're very, very small, but they're great. They're really surreal and dark, but very, very funny. There's a lot of sort of slapstick and
you did
gore.
appear in a scene with John Hamm.
John and I, as you can see, we are, although we're younger and older versions of each other, John's kind of, the whole thing is in John's memory, so he's sort of walking through his own memory and interacting with his younger self, played by me, which is, I guess, the explanation for the fact that there's like a foot in height difference between us and we're the same person.
So we're talking about all the past things you've done. Next year, you're doing Frankenstein, is that right? It's coming soon?
We filmed it and it's coming out next year.
Okay, that's it. Right. So some photos came out, right? And you have long hair, and you've said now that you're very sympathetic to ladies in long hair these days.
Yeah, I mean, I had to have extensions put in for
that's the
this.
sexiest ego I've ever seen.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's a long way from Marty Feldman, I guess, but I have so much respect for any women who have long hair or voluntarily have hair extensions put in that are like, they took 14 hours to put in, and then you can't wash them normally. You have to, like, they take about an hour to dry. But this is what anybody with long hair just lives with all the time, and I'm just like discovering. Well, I do now. It's just, I don't know.
All right, well, let's take a look at.
Thank God, for many reasons.
Where you haven't had to wear a girdle.